welcome to the Fear Killer site and podcast, webcast. We're glad that you've decided to check us out. Today in this podcast, we're going to be talking about the three levels of fear that we've kind of identified everybody has to deal with. One of the challenges that we've seen in people dealing with fear is the lack of trying to identify what fear really is. People seem to just start right in on, okay, here's some steps you can take. But we're all about, first of all, honing in on exactly what is fear. And we think fear comes at three distinct levels. There's first level fear, second level fear, and third level fear, which would be the most severe primal kind of fear. First level fears are common phobias. They're universal to everybody. These are fears like I'm afraid of spiders, snakes, lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, kind of stuff like that. One of the comparisons we've used is that fear is kind of like the 3 degrees of burn. Most people say first degree, second degree, and third degree burns. When I was in high school, I had a radiator blow up on my back, and thank God, because of some good medical attention and a patient mom and dad, I don't have any scars on my back, but I had second and third degree burns. And a first degree burn is like a first level fear. It's something that is kind of bothersome, temporary, a little sad. It's okay. You can deal with that kind of burn, deal with that kind of fear. And so that's kind of first level fear. Second level fear is kind of like second degree burn, a lot more serious. These are fears that really kind of jolt and jar our values. And sometimes they manifest themselves like in the area of the economy, our work, our jobs, in the family. Sometimes political upheaval kind of brings on these concerns and so on. And so that second level fear is pretty serious, and they do concern us, and they're present. But the third level fear is the fear that's almost unspeakable. It's like a third degree burn. And I had some of those. I remember when that radiator blew up, I was taken to the hospital. I'm laying face down on a gurney in an emergency room, and my dear mom and dad they would be given these towels, and they would dip them in ice water, put them on my back, and just only for a second would my back be cooled, and then I'd want it off, and that happened repeatedly, and it was just, it was pain so deep that I couldn't describe it. It was just a searing, burning pain. And that's the kind of third level fear that we're trying to really hone in on, because we think the other two fears come out of that. Third level fear is primal. It is, there is actually even a mystery about it. It's the fear of being hopeless, of having no purpose, of feeling at the depth of your soul that there's no reason for your existence, that there's no reason to get up in the morning. It's hard to really describe, and that's why it is so unspeakable. That's why we kind of tinker around with first level fears and second level fears, and rarely do we ever submerge and go down to that third level fear where most of us really live when we're by ourselves. Third level fears are there when you're really thinking about your destiny, your purpose, and it dawns on you that there is no hope, there's no purpose, there's no one understands. There is a melancholy that kind of settles in on you, kind of a depressive cloud hanging over your life. And all of us come to that place where you have that kind of fear. And that's the unique thing we believe about the gospel. You see, I think we have undersold the power of the gospel. We've made the gospel only sometimes about those first level fears, you know. God will come in, hocus pocus, take away your little fears. And I'm not saying God's not concerned about those. I think He is, but I think it's more than that. And I think even we've distilled the gospel down to second level fears. And basically the gospel of Christ has been looked at as, you know, a new economic plan for our life, a new way to have a better marriage and a better business and a better all this. And that's true. God does care about those things. He wants our families and our values and our businesses and whatever we do to have meaning and purpose to glorify Him. But that's not the ultimate purpose of the gospel. The ultimate purpose of the gospel has been to drill down into the depths of the soul and to yank out the sting of death and sin and fear. You see, what God did in Christ is absolutely phenomenal. He, if you will, He went into the belly of the beast of death and sin. He, by His own death. I often say that we can celebrate the death of death in the death and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Like an adder, death came and watched over Jesus on the cross, thinking it had had its best day. And yet it was a lure of the sovereign God of the universe that Christ died, and when He died, He murdered death, and He was raised from the dead. And here's what that means for that third level fear. What that means for that third level fear is that He is the only salve. He is the only healing component, because He takes away that primal fear of a lack of purpose, a lack of hope, a lack of a sense of destiny. And He instills in our heart that everything that could destroy us, our own sin, our mess-ups, even death, has now been vanquished. It's been destroyed in Jesus Christ. And because of that, we now can have hope. We now have a purpose. We don't have to be afraid. And once you've settled that in your heart, other things will come and go. There will be anxiety flares, if you will. We'll have those first level phobias. We'll have those second level phobias. But deep down in the bottom of our soul, that eternal fear has been resolved in the person of Jesus Christ. If you'd like to know more about what we're saying, what we're doing, where we're speaking, you can visit thefearkiller.com. That's thefearkiller.com. One word. We'd love to have you visit our website, and we'd love to have you visit us if we're speaking in your area. So thanks for tuning in, and God bless.